Cheese Rocker. Welcome to Cheese Rocker Garage. Today we have a 1996 Riviera by Buick. This car is absolutely stunning in ruby red over a tan interior package. The car is in pristine condition, no rust, no accidents, no damage whatsoever. Original everything, came like it came from the factory. 3800 supercharged V6. The car has been obviously pampered. It's been garaged the majority of its life in Arizona, and now it's in Southwest Nevada. So, not a speck of rust on it. Without boring you a whole bunch on Riviera details and everything else, but just be aware this car was pretty rare when it came out and continues to be pretty rare. I think the whole production of this car, the last generation, the 7th generation, I mean, to give you an idea, I think they only made 19,000 of these cars in 1996. Now you wonder why. Well, they were close to $40,000, that's why. They were very expensive. But for a lot of reasons, right? You got a lot of bang for your buck on this car, in my opinion. Auto leveling, air ride suspension in the back, full leather, supercharged, styling, which in my opinion is very unique and very cool. Now, some people call it a jelly bean. That's okay. We're all right with those people. We're not haters on this channel. We're just trying to get along in the world. So, anyways. Let's kind of walk around this car a little bit, and we'll get some more views of it and talk a little bit more about it. Okay, so let's walk around a little bit and see what's going on with the car. So, these cars, when they came out, were really touted as being almost like a concept car that you could drive. In fact, that's what the promotional material had said at the time. But it had a lot of unique features. GM spent a lot of money to try to kind of lure people away from the Lincoln Mark series, and you know, those were kind of their dueling cousin there, and the Marks are very nice as well. But I just kind of personally like the Buick Riviera a little bit better, but you know, personal being personal. So all right, well, let's check this car out a little bit further. The wheels and the tires are brand new, but the wheels are in exceptionally good condition as well. Let's come over and check out the engine bay here. This is the Series 2 3800 supercharged V6 from GM. And you can tell this car is just really, I mean, everything is as it should be. All the stickers and markers. Nothing's going on that should be not in there. I mean, even the antifreeze bottle, you can tell that thing is practically brand new. It's just really well taken care of. Let's walk around a little bit further and check out the other side of the car, the passenger side. All right, well, let's go inside and check it out. All right, so here we are in the inside of the dash. This is the only Buick insignia branding on the vehicle anywhere. Other than that, it's all Riviera, all over the place in here. I mean, on the outside, there's no tri-shield anywhere on this car. You know, and even it says Riviera by Buick. That should give you an indication that they're really trying to upscale this car. There's the shifter boot thing. It's just clean as a pin. I'll show you the mileage. 35,389 miles. There's no wear. These these guys usually are notorious for smudging and all of that. They're well, they're brand new. A little crack over here, but I mean the handles and the shift switch gears and all that, and just spectacular condition. Steering wheel, and there's no scuffs. These steering wheels are notorious for getting scuffy and black marks on them, and it's just brand new. It's just really, really nice car. All right, let's go back outside. All right, so let's go for a little drive in my Riviera by Buick. All right, so we're just cruising along, getting on a little road here, and then we'll get onto the freeway and see what the acceleration's like. So first impression on this car when you're driving it is how smooth and quiet it is when you first get in the vehicle. Secondly is the seats. Maybe the first thing you notice is the seats, because they're incredibly comfortable. The original promotional material that Buick put out on this car had indicated they had consulted with a physical therapist to come up with the best seating solution. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily true or not. However, these seats are exceptionally comfortable. The only seat that I have sat in that even comes remotely close to comfort on this car would be like a Recaro from an M3. Completely different car, completely different seat, but very, very comfortable. The other thing that you notice pretty quickly on this car is that the suspension and the drive is very, very cushy and very smooth. This car has an auto-leveling suspension with airbags in the back, which for American cars fairly rare. Other Buicks did have it. You know, the Roadmaster, I think the Park Avenue and Ultra certainly would have had them. Cadillacs. But for the most part, I mean, you're not getting that on a Chevy or a Pontiac for that matter. But makes for a very smooth ride. I mean, you know, it's like driving on air, really. It's very, very comfortable. When you first get in the car, you hook up, and then it levels out and you're ready to roll. Transmission's very smooth, pretty responsive. This car is a 3800 V6 with a supercharger, so it gets up and goes a little bit more than a normal 3800 would. The steering and handling on this car, I wouldn't say it's the most responsive on the planet, but it's also very suited to this vehicle. Again, the promotional material had also indicated this Riviera had a hydroformed frame, which was kind of state-of-the-art in GM at the time. Very, very rigid frame, which kind of lent to the stability of the vehicle and the overall ride quality. So we're going to get onto the freeway here shortly. The other thing which is kind of funny about this car, or kind of unique to the car, is the overall look of the car. I have a couple friends of mine that have never even seen this vehicle. They didn't even know it existed. So, which they didn't make a lot of these cars. These cars were really expensive. They were close to 40 grand when they were fully optioned out. They did not make a lot of them. It's unfortunate GM killed off the Riviera because it really was a styling exercise for the whole, especially for the Buick marquee, but for GM in general. And over long decades of the boat tails in the early 60s and the Bill Mitchell and all that. Okay, here we go, going on the freeway. Front wheel drive, so it's got a little understeer, kind of that weird front wheel drive deal. All right, so we're at 75 here. I mean, it gets up and goes pretty good. Again, it's not a Corvette. I don't know if you're going to win people out at the drag race, but I don't think you take a Riviera to a drag strip either. I mean, people do it, but I don't know why. That's not the intent of the vehicle. When you get this car out on the freeway is really where it starts to shine. It is so comfortable. If you jumped in this car and drove to LA and back 8 hours, you'd be like, hey, great, let's go out and play a game of tennis or something. It's just spectacular. It's very, very comfortable. Rides on air. The other thing which I find kind of interesting, people's impression of this car. I had one friend of mine, oh, it looks like a jelly bean. I guess it does to a certain extent. I don't see it that way. I think it's a very cool looking car. Again, back to the promotional material part of it. That was their little tagline was, hey, if you saw a concept car and always wanted to drive one, that's what this is. And in certain respects, I could see where that was true. This Riviera did not look like anything else GM was producing, certainly anything Buick-wise. Had its own sheet metal. Everything was proprietary towards the Riviera besides the drivetrain. All the body panels. The hood is aluminum, which is kind of a quirky thing for a car of that era, especially from GM. GM designers and Buick designers, they spent a lot of time, money, and effort in designing and styling this vehicle to be individual and a personal luxury car. That's kind of exactly what the segment was for this car. The car had the Twilight Sentinel, of course, and some of the other, quirky things that GM had. But yeah, GM has had a Twilight Sentinel for many, many years, especially on Buicks. And I've said this before, and I still stand by it. I think today, in today's world, Buick is the best car that they make, better than Cadillac, and that's been proven, through all the JD Power studies and all the rest of it. If you go through and look at that, that proves itself to be true. So I think $40,000 for this car in 1996. Was that a lot of money? Absolutely. That's a lot of money now for a car, I think. But you also get a lot with that, though, too. I mean, you're getting a premium luxury vehicle that will last a long time if it's taken care of. Now, a lot of people poo-pooed that they didn't put a V8 in this car at the time, kind of like the Mark series, which was their direct rival. And I see that, but I don't, driving this car with this drivetrain, I don't think if you put like an LT1 or an LS1 or something in this car, it just kind of destroy it needs the 3800 in here. It just fits the car. It's nice, it's comfortable, it's silky smooth, extremely reliable. They put a supercharger on to give a little pizzazz. I mean, I think it's 240 horsepower and 200 something torque. Again, I mean, if there's all kinds of ways to hot rod these things, if that's really what your intent is, but again, why? I don't see that. That's not the purpose of this car. It's just a really nice, comfortable vehicle that's a highway cruiser, and that is very stylish. And you don't see these cars. You just don't see them. And if you do see them, they're either ghettoed out, they're trashed. It's very rare to find one in this condition, and I'm extremely fortunate I ran across this car. It was kind of like a diamond in the rough. Thanks, guys, for checking out my 96 Buick Riviera. It's been a lot of fun kind of going through this car with you, and I hope you've enjoyed the videos. My first shot at doing a YouTube thing. So the car is for sale. It's advertised on Hemmings as well as Auto Trader. So hit me up through those avenues if you were interested in the car. And thanks for watching.